Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tony Robbins, and if there's one thing I've learned in all my years of coaching, speaking, traveling, and living, it's that human connection is at the core of everything. Relationships are the currency of life. Whether it's in your business, your friendships, or the person you're about to meet in the coffee shop line, the power to connect, to be liked, to be trusted, to be remembered, is not some mysterious gift. It's a skill, and like every skill, it can be mastered, but here's the truth. Most people go through their lives never learning how to tap into that power. They settle for surface-level interactions. They're awkward, anxious, or trying to be someone they're not, and that keeps them stuck. So today, I'm going to rip the lid off. I want you to imagine being the kind of person that people are instantly drawn to, not because you're pretending, not because you've got a mask on, but because you understand what makes people tick. You know how to light up a room, not by dominating it, but by being the one person who truly sees others. You become magnetic, and I'm not talking about manipulation, I'm talking about authenticity. Real, powerful, magnetic energy that comes from knowing who you are, showing up with intention, and understanding a few key principles that the most likable, influential people on earth use every single day. Let me tell you something, I wasn't always Tony Robbins. I was a kid growing up in a small apartment with a family that struggled. I had every reason to stay small, but I was hungry. And one of the things I learned early on is that people make decisions emotionally and then justify them logically. That applies to everything, including whether they like you or not. You walk into a room, and before you've even opened your mouth, people are deciding if you're someone they want to know. Your energy, your presence, your authenticity. It speaks volumes, and when you know how to channel that the right way, you'll never have to chase connection. It will come to you. Now let's get real. How many times have you tried to impress someone and ended up feeling worse about yourself? How many times have you rehearsed the perfect thing to say, only to freeze the moment you needed it most? That's because you are trying to be liked instead of understanding how to be likable. There's a difference. Being liked is a reaction. Being likable is a decision. It's not about faking it, it's about showing up fully, with certainty, and understanding the psychology of connection. When you know how to enter any room, look someone in the eye, and make them feel significant, you've won, because people don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. I want you to imagine walking into a meeting, a date, a job interview, and instantly shifting the energy. Not because you're loud, not because you're the funniest, but because your presence, your confidence, your ability to listen deeply and speak directly, those things make people feel alive. That's what makes someone like you. People are starving to be seen, to be understood, to feel that someone actually cares. And when you can give someone that, even for 60 seconds, you become unforgettable. It starts with intention. Most people walk through life unconsciously. They're not thinking about how they're showing up, they're reacting, they're guarded, they're defensive, they've built up walls, but connection is not about breaking through someone's walls with a battering ram. It's about showing them that they can take their guard down with you, that they're safe, that you're not here to judge but to understand. And the fastest way to make someone like you is to make them feel like they matter. Because when someone feels important in your presence, they want to be around you. It's human nature, and here's the secret: most people miss likability is not about being perfect. In fact, perfection is intimidating. People don't relate to perfect, they relate to real. When you let people see your flaws, your humor, your vulnerability, that's where the magic happens. That's where connection lives. People like people who are like them, or like how they want to be. So when you show up as a high, energy, authentic, deeply present version of yourself, you're showing them what's possible in themselves, and they're drawn to that. Let's go deeper. Think about the most charismatic person you know. I guarantee you they listen more than they speak. They're not waiting to talk. They're absorbing you. They're tuned in. They ask questions that go beneath the surface. They don't just say, "How are you?" They say, "What's lighting you up right now?" And when you speak, they're not thinking about their reply, they're thinking about you. That's rare, and it's powerful, because in a world of noise, being a person who truly listens is a superpower. You want to make people like you. Make them feel like they're the only person in the world when you're with them. Lock into their eyes, mirror their energy, not by mimicking, but by meeting them where they are. Speak with intention, smile with purpose. And most of all, show up with energy, because energy is everything. The way you enter a room says more than your words ever will. So many people walk around drained, distracted, disengaged, and they wonder why nobody connects with them. But when you walk in with a spark, with certainty, with warmth, people feel it, they can't help but respond, and let's be clear, this isn't about being a people pleaser. That's not likability, that's desperation. Real connection doesn't come from needing approval. It comes from owning your space, loving yourself enough to not need validation, and giving freely without needing anything in return. Because when you operate from abundance, people trust you. When you show up with the energy of I'm here to give, not to get, people feel safe, and safety is the foundation of every relationship. Now let me ask you a question. What would your life look like if you could walk into any room and light it up? If you could make people feel seen, heard, and inspired in your presence, how different would your business be, your relationships, your confidence? That's not some fantasy. That's available to you right now when you decide to master the art of connection. Because the ability to make people like you quickly is not luck, it's strategy, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it step by step, not with manipulation but with mastery. There are 3 core forces that shape every connection you'll ever have: certainty, curiosity, and contribution. When you radiate certainty, people are drawn to your presence. When you're genuinely curious, people open up to you. And when you contribute without expectation, people feel something rare: trust. Let's break this down. Certainty is power, not arrogance, not ego, but a calm, grounded energy that says, I know who I am. People can feel it. They're drawn to it because most of them are uncertain, and they want to be around someone who isn't rattled by the chaos of the world. When you walk into a room with that kind of self-possession, people will lean in, they'll want to know you, they'll listen, because your certainty gives them certainty. But here's where it gets even better. Certainty without curiosity is just ego. When you combine certainty with genuine curiosity, now you're a magnet. People love to talk about themselves. They love to feel like their life matters, that their thoughts are important. So ask better questions. Don't just say, what do you do? Say, what are you excited about right now? What challenge are you growing through? These questions elevate the conversation. They show you're interested, not just interesting. And then there's contribution. The fastest way to make someone like you is to add value to their life. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be a compliment that's specific and sincere. It could be a powerful insight you share. It could just be the energy you bring. But when someone walks away from a conversation with you feeling better than before, they remember you, they want more of you, because contribution creates emotional equity. And that builds trust. Let me tell you something from personal experience. When I started coaching, I didn't have the platform I have now. I didn't have thousands of people in stadiums or books on shelves. I had one-on-one moments, one person at a time, and I realized if I could make that one person feel like they were the most important person in the world in that moment, if I could give them everything I had, I wouldn't need to chase influence. It would grow naturally, and it did, because people remember energy, they remember intention, they remember how you showed up. That's what you have control over. You can't control what people think, but you can control how you make them feel. And when you make someone feel significant, when you connect to their heart instead of their ego, that's where real likability is born. It's not a trick, it's a decision, it's a lifestyle, it's a standard you set for yourself. Think about your life right now. Who are the people that light you up? Who are the people you want to be around? I guarantee it's not the ones who talk the most or have the most flashy things. It's the ones who see you. The ones who listen, who care, who show up with presence. That's what makes someone likable. It's not charisma alone, it's care. And the beautiful thing is, you can be that person. You don't need to be born with it. You build it, you practice it, you live it. Let me share something powerful with you. One of the most likable people I ever met wasn't the loudest in the room. He wasn't the most successful on paper. But the moment he spoke to you, you felt like you mattered. He remembered your name, he asked about your family, he looked you in the eyes and listened with his whole being. You felt safe, and people would go out of their way just to talk to him for 5 minutes. Because he made them feel human, he made them feel seen, and in today's world that's rare. But that's exactly why it's so valuable. If you want to make people like you fast, be that person. Be the one who actually listens. Be the one who pays attention to detail. Be the one who's fully present. Put your phone down, open your eyes, lead with your heart, because the world is starving for authenticity. And when you bring that to the table, you become unforgettable. Here's the truth, people don't fall in love with perfect people. They fall in love with people who are real, people who are relatable, people who don't pretend to have it all together. So stop trying to impress everyone. Start trying to connect, because connection always beats perfection. When someone feels your authenticity, they're naturally drawn to you, because deep down we all crave connection, and authenticity is the bridge. Now let's talk about body language, because it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Your posture, your eye contact, your tone. These things speak louder than words. If you want people to trust you, your body must say, I'm open, I'm confident, I'm here with you. Most people slouch, fidget, look away, and they wonder why they don't connect. But when you stand tall, when you open your chest, when you smile like you mean it, people feel it, they respond to it. And here's something most people never realize. Your physiology changes your psychology. When you change how you move, you change how you feel. And when you feel confident, people feel your confidence. That's why motion creates emotion. You want to be more likable, start with your body, start with your breath. Start with the energy you bring before you even say a word. Let me give you something you can do right now. Before you walk into any room, any meeting, any social situation, take 30 seconds, close your eyes. Breathe deep and ask yourself, who do I want to be in this moment? What energy do I want to bring? How can I serve? You do that, you align your intention with your presence, and that changes everything. Don't underestimate small gestures, a genuine smile, a firm handshake, saying someone's name with warmth. These things matter because people remember how they felt around you, and those tiny moments, those micro expressions of care, they build massive influence over time. People want to be around people who make them feel good. Period. And here's another truth. Be the first to be kind. Don't wait for someone else to warm up. Don't wait for them to approve of you before you give them your best. Lead with love, lead with respect, lead with interest, because you teach people how to treat you by how you treat them. And when you lead with generosity, it changes the tone of the entire interaction. Now let me ask you this. What's stopping you? What's really stopping you from being magnetic, from being memorable, from being someone people instantly like? It's not your looks. It's not your background. It's not your bank account. It's your beliefs. Somewhere along the way, you may have picked up the belief that you're not enough, that people don't like you, that you need to try harder, but that's a lie. The truth is, you are already enough. You just need to show up as the version of you that believes it. Because when you believe in your value, other people will too. When you stop hiding and start sharing your real self, the quirky parts, the funny parts, the passionate parts, that's when people connect. That's when they feel safe enough to open up to you, because your vulnerability gives them permission to be human. And that's what we're all craving. More humanity, more realness, more depth. The people who make the biggest impact in the world are not the ones who try to be liked. They're the ones who show up to serve. To lift others, to bring energy, that's what makes people like you. That's what builds true influence. It's not about being perfect.